Hi, I'm Jameson Huckabee with BeerGenius. You can find us on the web at beergenius.net. I have something really special for us today. This is Sam Adams Utopias. You may have heard of Utopias as the strongest beer in the world. There's some news that just came out about a beer out of Scotland done by Brewdog. It's called Tactical Nuclear Penguin, that now is at 32% alcohol. It's important to note that that beer was brewed by unconventional methods. It was fermented by unconventional methods. So Sam Adams Utopias at 27-28% is the strongest beer that you can buy brewed by conventional methods, which is important to note because with retaining all of these time-honored traditions of producing the beer in such a way, you also retain the flavors. You retain a certain amount of integrity that I don't think you can substitute. So let's get into the beer itself. Sam Adams Utopias is a special one-off beer that Sam Adams does once every 2 years or so. They began back in 2001. Each one of these batches of beer is aged in various types of oak barrels. You've got some sherry, you've got some port, you've got some probably some whiskey barrels in there somewhere. Aged for 20 years, 20, before they release it to the public. It's also brewed with maple syrup, which is really interesting. Gives it some very different characteristics, as we'll see in just a moment here. The bottle is really cool. It's shaped like a copper boil kettle. It's really very neat. It's got some shutter doors that actually move. It's ceramic. If you find one of these, pick it up. It's a little expensive. It's $150 retail price. A lot of retailers will mark it up just a little bit because it is such a special beer, but there are probably only 8,000 bottles that are released each time they do it, and it's usually every other year. This is the 2009 vintage. They also had a 2007, a 2005, and I believe they have both a 2002 and a 2003. And I don't know about 2001. I hear that was the beginning year. I need to double check on that. But there have not been that many of these bottles released. Now let's get into the beer itself. Again, it's brewed with maple syrup. It actually comes with its own special glass. This is a Riedel leaded crystal glass designed specifically for this beer. And it has a bit of a lip on it, as you may be able to see, that allows the aroma to really fall out of the glass, spill out of the glass rather than direct it directly up into your face. So it doesn't burn quite as much as if you would put this in a snifter. And at 27% alcohol, I mean, of course it would. So keep that in mind. The beer is a beautiful, deep honey color, really rich honey maple syrup, amber caramel. Is just beautiful. Keep in mind, this beer is not carbonated, so once you actually open the bottle, you can leave it open, and the beer, you will not notice any oxidation effects for quite some time because of the alcohol content and because it doesn't have any carbonation. And that's a little shocking to a lot of people, but with a beer of this caliber, I believe the carbonation would detract from it. So it's really neat to be able to taste this sort of thing with its pure raw form. So let's get into it and see what we think. Oh my. I'm getting the maple syrup, of course. It's gonna be there. It was brewed with it. It's clearly very high quality. I'm also getting a lot of vanilla. Tons of vanilla. I'm getting some various spices over here, and they're accent spices. You know, one's over here and one's over here, and there's some on the back of my palate just by smelling it, which is absolutely incredible. I don't think I've ever smelled anything so wonderfully complex. And although it's complex, it's still forgiving and simple and easy. This is a perfect after-dinner drink. Let's actually taste it and see what we find. Oh, absolutely amazing. If you can find a bottle of this and you can swing the price tag, you need to pick it up. This is absolutely phenomenal. Share it with your best friends. Share it with your family for holidays. This is the perfect kind of beverage for it. It drinks almost exactly like an after-dinner liqueur. It's not too sweet. I'm getting some wonderfully warm roasted barley just all over the palate. I'm getting the vanilla. I'm getting the maple syrup. I'm getting some accent spices, and it's really, really, really very wonderful. In fact, this may be one of the best beers I've ever tasted. Give it a shot if you can possibly find it. I'm going to put this beer at a 99 out of 100. Probably one of the better beers I've ever had. It's very different, but it's still beer, and that's what makes it so special. For a long time, brewers could only brew beers up to 14 or 15% alcohol because of the type of yeast they were using. And again, this does use brewer's yeast, which makes it terribly unique. It's important to note also that the alcohol content doesn't make the beer. It just happens to be a 27% alcohol beer. The beer itself makes the beer. The quality of the ingredients, if you slap together something else just to brew a high alcohol beer, I can almost guarantee you that the 20 years invested in this beer would totally trounce almost anything else out there. So other brewers, get to work. You've got some work to do. This is amazing. This is a trend. Well, I can't say it's a trendsetter. High alcohol beers are almost looked down upon sometimes, but this is really a work of art. Wonderful job, Sam Adams, Boston Beer Company. I really love this beer. The glassware that you designed that accommodates this beer is absolutely perfect. And if you buy a bottle, you actually get the glass. Call Sam Adams. Go to their web store online and they'll send you one because it is so wonderful enjoyed out of this particular shape. It really complements it, doesn't burn your senses too much, and really makes it a very pleasurable, enjoyable experience. Sam Adams Utopias, 2009 vintage, 99 out of 100. Thanks for watching Beer Genius. I'm Jameson Huckabee. We'll hope to see you again soon.